Tomorrow, February 12th, isn't just another day. While most people are scrolling through their feeds completely unaware, the universe is about to issue a test, a cosmic checkpoint that will separate those who are ready to evolve from those who will stay exactly where they are. This isn't subtle, this isn't optional, and if you think you can just ignore what's coming, you're about to find out why that's not going to work. Because tomorrow, something rare is happening in the sky, a planetary alignment that only occurs when the universe needs to recalibrate the course of human consciousness. And whether you realize it or not, you're standing at the threshold of the most important decision you'll make all year. The wild part, most people won't even feel it. They'll move through tomorrow like any other day, completely blind to the fact that a door is opening, a door that won't stay open forever. But you're different. You're here because something inside you already knows. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That strange sense that something is about to shift. And if you've been feeling an unusual pull between two completely opposite desires lately, like you want to move forward but something is holding you back, keep watching. Because there's one specific reason why this internal war is happening to you right now, and I'll explain exactly what it means later in this video, so stick around. But first, you need to understand what's actually happening tomorrow, because ignoring this cosmic event could cost you the biggest opportunity of your life. Tomorrow is not just another day. Let me be clear, February 12th, 2026 is a portal, not in some vague metaphorical sense. I'm talking about a genuine energetic gateway, a moment when the fabric of reality becomes more malleable, when the rules that normally govern your life temporarily loosen their grip. Here's what's happening. Mars, the planet of action, will, and courage, is forming a rare 150-degree angle with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, wisdom, and opportunity. This aspect is called a quincunx, and it's one of the most misunderstood configurations in astrology. Why? Because it doesn't announce itself with fireworks, it doesn't come with a manual, it operates in your blind spots, the places where your logic and your feelings can't see each other. And that's precisely the point. Tomorrow's energy isn't designed to be comfortable. It's designed to force an adjustment, to push you into a space where you have to choose between what feels safe and what could change everything. But here's what makes this different from every other planetary alignment you've ever experienced. This isn't happening in isolation. At the exact same time, Mercury is locking into a conjunction with the North Node in Pisces, your karmic destiny point, and the Moon is shifting into Capricorn, bringing a sobering dose of reality and ambition. 3 major cosmic events, one day, and they're all converging to ask you one simple question: are you brave enough to take the leap? Because here's the truth nobody's telling you. Tomorrow is a test. The universe is watching what you do, and the choice you make, or don't make, will determine whether you unlock the massive upgrade waiting for you on February 13th, or whether you stay stuck in the same cycle you've been repeating for years. The invisible war happening inside you right now. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange internal conflict that's been building over the past few days. Maybe it showed up as indecision. Maybe it felt like you were being pulled in 2 completely opposite directions at once. Maybe you woke up one morning knowing exactly what you need to do, only to second-guess yourself by the afternoon. This isn't anxiety, this isn't confusion, this is the energy of the Mars-Jupiter quincunx starting to activate, and if you don't understand what's causing it, you'll waste tomorrow fighting a war that doesn't need to be fought. Here's what's happening. Mars is currently in Aquarius, the sign of the revolutionary, the reformer, the one who fights for the future. In this position, Mars wants to break free from outdated structures. It wants innovation. It wants to shatter the old and build something radically new, and right now that energy is coursing through you, telling you to take action, to make a move, to step into the unknown. But at the exact same time, Jupiter is in Cancer, exalted, powerful, but also retrograde. Jupiter in Cancer wants safety, it wants emotional security, it wants to nurture what's already been built. It's looking backward, asking you to retrieve something valuable from your past, a forgotten dream, a lost talent, an ancestral strength you've been ignoring. And here's the problem. These two forces can't see each other. Aquarius and Cancer share nothing in common. One is air, the other is water. One is fixed, the other is cardinal. One wants the future, the other wants the past. And tomorrow, they're going to collide in your psyche, forcing you to reconcile the irreconcilable. This is the test of courage, not the kind of courage where you charge into battle, the kind where you have to act without knowing how it's all going to work out. The kind where you have to move forward even though your emotions are screaming at you to stay safe. And if you fail this test, if you let fear win, if you choose comfort over growth, you'll miss what's coming next. Because the reward for passing this test, it's bigger than you think. You'll feel like you're flying blind. Remember when I said if you've been feeling a pull between two opposite desires, there's a reason. This is it, but there's something even stranger happening tomorrow that most people won't notice until it's already hit them. Tomorrow morning at exactly 14:14 in the afternoon, Mercury will form a perfect conjunction with the North Node at 10 degrees Pisces. And the Sabian symbol for this degree is hauntingly specific. An aviator pursues his journey, flying through ground-obscuring clouds. Let that sink in for a second. An aviator, flying blind, no visibility, just instruments and faith. This is the energy you're going to feel tomorrow, like you're being asked to navigate without a clear view of the landing strip. You'll have a sense of where you need to go, but the path won't be obvious. The logical steps won't line up. Your emotions won't give you the green light, and yet something inside you will know. A quiet voice, a gut feeling, an intuitive download that says, this is the way. And here's what nobody tells you about this kind of moment. You're not supposed to see clearly. The clouds are intentional. The universe is testing whether you can trust your internal instruments, your intuition, your higher self, your soul's compass, more than you trust your physical eyes. Because the truth is, the biggest opportunities in life don't come with clear instructions. They don't come with guarantees. They come disguised as risks, as leaps of faith, as decisions that make no logical sense but feel spiritually undeniable. Tomorrow you might receive a sudden insight, a flash of knowing, a message that comes through a dream, a conversation, or just a random thought that won't leave you alone. Pay attention. Because that's Mercury at the North Node doing its job, delivering karmic intelligence directly to your conscious mind. But here's the catch, you have to act on it. Receiving the message isn't enough. The test is whether you'll follow it even when you can't see the outcome. The emotional shift you can't ignore. And then, just 31 minutes after that Mercury node conjunction, the moon enters Capricorn, and everything changes. If the morning feels dreamy, intuitive, and spiritually charged, the afternoon is going to feel like a cold splash of water. The moon in Capricorn doesn't do fantasy. It doesn't do wishful thinking. It asks one simple question. What are you actually going to do about it? This is the universe giving you a reality check, because here's the problem with big spiritual downloads and cosmic insights. They're meaningless if you don't ground them in action. You can receive all the divine guidance in the world, but if you don't have the discipline to execute, if you don't have the structure to build, if you don't have the emotional maturity to follow through, it's just noise. And that's what the moon in Capricorn brings: emotional maturity, ambition, the CEO mindset, the part of you that says, okay, I got the message, now let's make a plan. For some of you, this shift is going to feel sobering, maybe even heavy. You might suddenly become aware of how much work is ahead of you. You might feel the weight of responsibility settling on your shoulders. And that's not a bad thing. That's preparation. Because in just a few hours, the real test begins, and you need to be emotionally grounded, clear-headed, and ready to make a move. The moon in Capricorn is your anchor. It's the voice that says, dream big, but build smart. And when 2014 UTC arrives, that's when everything culminates. That's when the Mars-Jupiter quincunx reaches its exact peak. And that's when the universe looks at you and asks, what are you made of? The watchdog and the seed. Here's where it gets really interesting. Because the specific degrees where Mars and Jupiter are sitting tomorrow carry their own hidden messages. Ancient symbols that reveal the deeper meaning of this test. Mars is at 16 degrees Aquarius, and the Sabian symbol for this degree is a watchdog standing guard, protecting his master and his possessions. Think about that image for a second. A watchdog, not attacking, not chasing, guarding. This is Mars operating not as a warrior charging into battle, but as a protector standing firm. It's vigilant, it's loyal, it's ready to defend what matters. And what is it protecting? The future, the new vision you're building, the version of yourself that's trying to emerge. Because Mars in Aquarius isn't fighting for the past, it's fighting for what's coming. It's standing guard at the threshold, making sure the old world doesn't creep back in and sabotage the new one you're creating. Tomorrow's test isn't about being aggressive, it's about being protective. It's about having the courage to defend your new path, your new beliefs, your new identity, even when it feels isolating, even when people don't understand, even when the old version of your life is begging you to come back. Now look at Jupiter. It's at 16 degrees Cancer, and its Sabian symbol is the unfoldment of multi-level potentialities issuing from an original germ. A seed, a tiny, fragile thing with explosive potential. This is Jupiter in Cancer showing you that the biggest opportunities in life don't start big. They start small. They start hidden. They start with a single decision, a single act of faith, a single moment where you choose growth over safety. But here's the conflict. The seed wants to stay in the dark, warm soil where it's safe. It wants to be nurtured, protected, kept comfortable. And Mars in Aquarius is saying, no, it's time to break through the surface. It's time to face the light. And that's the tension you're going to feel tomorrow. The part of you that wants to stay safe, Jupiter in Cancer, versus the part of you that knows you need to take a risk, Mars in Aquarius. The part that wants to retreat versus the part that wants to advance. The test is this: are you willing to let the seed shell crack? Because that's the only way the potential inside can unfold. And yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it feels like destruction. But it's not. It's birth. It's transformation. It's the price of growth. What most people will do tomorrow, and why it's a mistake. Here's the hard truth. Most people will fail this test, not because they're not capable, not because they're not spiritual, but because they'll hesitate, they'll overthink, they'll wait for more clarity, more proof, more assurance that it's the right move. And I get it. The quincunx aspect doesn't make things easy. It doesn't give you a clear yes or no. It gives you a feeling, an uncomfortable, awkward, I'm not sure about this, but I can't ignore it kind of feeling. And when most people feel that, they freeze. They tell themselves, I'll wait until I'm more ready, or I'll do it when the timing is better, or let me just think about it a little longer. But here's what they don't understand. The discomfort is the signal. The awkwardness is the proof that you're in the right place. Because growth doesn't feel smooth, evolution doesn't feel certain, transformation doesn't come with a satisfaction guarantee. The people who pass this test tomorrow are the ones who can sit in the discomfort and move anyway. They're the ones who can feel the fear and still take the step. They're the ones who understand that courage isn't the absence of doubt. It's the willingness to act despite it. And for those people, for the ones who are brave enough to trust the process, to trust the pull, to trust that invisible guidance system that's been activated by Mercury and the North Node, for them, what happens next is going to change everything. The biggest opportunity unlocks on February 13th. Let me tell you why tomorrow's test matters so much, because it's not just about February 12th, it's about what happens the day after. On February 13th, Saturn enters Aries, and when that happens, something extraordinary occurs. Saturn in Aries and Mars in Aquarius form what's called a mutual reception. These two planets swap signs. They become guests in each other's homes, and instead of being enemies, they become allies. Do you understand what this means? It means that the actions you take tomorrow, the courage you show, the leap you make, the risk you accept, that energy gets locked in. It gets amplified. It gets structural support from Saturn for the next 2.5 years. This is the upgrade. This is the reward. This is why the universe is testing you tomorrow. Because if you pass the test, if you align your will, Mars, with your wisdom, Jupiter. If you take that awkward, uncomfortable, blind faith action, you enter the Saturn-Aries cycle with momentum, with power, with a Mars that's fully online and ready to build. But if you don't, if you let fear win, if you choose safety over growth, you'll still enter the Saturn-Aries cycle. But you'll enter it from a place of hesitation, of regret, of wondering what could have been. The opportunity isn't just tomorrow. The opportunity is the next 2.5 years of your life, but tomorrow is the key that unlocks the door. Tomorrow is the moment you prove to the universe and to yourself that you're ready. What you need to do tomorrow. So here's the practical part. Here's what you actually do with this energy, because knowing about it is one thing, using it is another. Morning, pay attention to your dreams. Write them down as soon as you wake up. Mercury conjunct the North Node is delivering messages, and they're going to come through your subconscious first. Don't judge them. Don't analyze them. Just capture them. Afternoon, as the moon enters Capricorn, ground yourself. Make a plan, take that morning insight and turn it into something actionable. What's the first step? What's the timeline? What resources do you need? This is your flight plan. You're the aviator, and you need to know your instruments even if you can't see the sky. Evening. When the Mars-Jupiter quincunx peaks, take one specific action, not a big dramatic gesture, just one thing that feels awkwardly brave. Send the email you've been avoiding. Make the investment you've been second-guessing. Set the boundary you've been delaying. Have the conversation you've been running from. Do it even if your stomach is doing flips. Do it even if your emotions are telling you to wait. Do it even if you can't see how it's all going to work out. Because that discomfort, that's the quincunx, that's the friction, that's the price of admission. And once you do it, once you take that leap, something shifts. The universe sees it, Saturn sees it, and on February 13th, when Saturn enters Aries and locks into that mutual reception with Mars, you'll feel it. You'll feel the power source turn on. You'll feel the momentum build. You'll feel the ground beneath your feet solidify. The aftermath, what happens when you pass the test? Let me paint you a picture of what life looks like on the other side of this portal, because this isn't just about getting through tomorrow. This is about stepping into a completely new version of your reality. When you successfully navigate the Mars-Jupiter quincunx, when you make that brave, awkward, uncomfortable move, you're essentially telling the universe, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm done playing small. And the universe responds. It always does. You might not see the results immediately. The seeds you plant tomorrow won't bloom overnight, but over the coming weeks and months, you'll start to notice things shifting, doors opening that were previously locked, opportunities appearing that seemed impossible before, people entering your life who are aligned with your new path. And it won't feel random. It will feel orchestrated, because that's what happens when you align with cosmic timing. The right things start happening at the right time, not because you forced them, but because you were brave enough to move when the universe asked you to. The mutual reception between Saturn and Mars that begins on February 13th is going to fuel this process. It's going to give you enduring action, sustainable momentum, the ability to build something real that lasts, not just a flash of inspiration that fades, but a genuine structural transformation that reshapes your entire life. And here's the most beautiful part. Once you prove to yourself that you can take action in the face of uncertainty, that pattern becomes part of you. You don't just pass this one test. You become the kind of person who passes tests. You become the kind of person who trusts themselves, who follows their intuition, who takes the leap even when it's scary. That's the real opportunity, not just what happens tomorrow, but who you become because of what you choose tomorrow. The final warning. But I need to be real with you about something, because while I've been talking about the opportunity, about the upgrade, about the transformation, there's also a shadow side to this energy, and ignoring it would be irresponsible. If you don't pass this test, if you let fear make the decision for you, if you choose comfort over courage, the consequences aren't just neutral. They're not just, oh well, maybe next time. The universe doesn't give you infinite chances at the same lesson. What happens is this: the energy moves on without you. Saturn still enters Aries, the mutual reception still forms, the portal still opens, but you're standing on the wrong side of it, watching it happen to other people, wondering why you feel stuck while everyone else seems to be leveling up. And that feeling, that sense of being left behind, it's going to haunt you, not because the universe is punishing you, but because deep down, you'll know. You'll know there was a moment, a choice, a chance, and you didn't take it. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because tomorrow matters. It matters more than most days, and treating it like just another Thursday would be the biggest mistake you could make. The universe is handing you a test, not to make you fail, but to see if you're ready for what's next. And the truth is, you are ready. You've been preparing for this your entire life. Every challenge you've faced, every lesson you've learned, every moment of growth, it's all been leading here. Tomorrow you get to prove it. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below.